Hey, Coach, I got a question for you. What does a wick to the upside mean, and what does a wick to the downside mean on a green candle?
Okay, well, just remember, if it's green, it just means it closed out more buyers than sellers. If it closes out red, it just means more sellers than buyers at the end. That's all it means. Where it started and where it stopped was either green to above it or red to below it.
So the green candle with the wick above it means buyers have not filled their order?
No, all it means is wherever it opened, it pushed up higher than it was, and then it just breathed back. So you had sellers come in at the very end, but there's still more buyers than sellers on that candle.
So the sellers are the red.
If it's a red candle, it means it closed lower than where it started. That's all it means.
Sellers are the wick of the green candle.
Correct. It just means it got pushed down right by the sellers. That's all.
Got it.
Yep.
So the color is basically telling you what it did,
Correct.
not what it's going to do.
That is correct. Which sometimes can be an indication of where it's going to go, but that's where you start looking at like engulfing candles. And was there 3 in a row, right?
Right.
3 soldiers, 3 crows, meaning up or down. Like you start to look at what is it doing? Why did it do? You know, the doji or a morning star, right? It'll kind of give you a little bit of why and what.
Coach, I got a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
When you're scalping, do you usually enter at the market and also sell at the market?
That's a great question. So if I'm doing options, I will use the turbo trader and it'll have that offset. If I'm doing futures, I don't have a problem with market. If I'm doing options, I always buy and sell at limit. The only time I ever sell at market is if it's bleeding out, I can't get out of it. The limit keeps failing. I can't, like it's not working. Then and only then will I take a bigger L by selling at market. But I always buy limit and I always sell limit using the offset with the turbo trader.
May I ask what's the offset that you have in
0.15.
Got it. Okay. When I try to do limit, I usually don't get filled in and I have to buy at the market and sell at the market.
Yeah, and that'll really blow you up. Try 0.15. It's actually good even with SPY. 0.2 on the high end, right? Yeah, and if I have to buy it at market, I usually don't want to do that. I have in the past, but the fills are so terrible, right?
I see some people in the profits and loss area when they take an L, it's always because they, air quotes, thought it was going to do something else. Am I right? How many times have you guys stayed in a bad trade because you thought, well, I know it's going down, but
Right, I just had to break.
yeah,
Correct.
The other day.
yeah,
The other day.
yeah.
That was the morning with LGM King.
Yeah, you'll go, oh, it didn't bounce there. Oh, maybe it will here. Well, it didn't. Okay, well, maybe here. Oh, well, you know what? Damn it. Now I'm down 30% on the trade. Well, you know what? I'm already in 30%. Let's just go ahead. I can just wait just a little bit more. It's no big deal. If it, oh, whoops, now it's 50%. Well, you know what? I didn't go that big. Oh, 70%. Oh, knife drop. Damn it. 75%. Well, I'm in it now. I might as well just hold on the rest of the day. Drops down 85%. You get out. It rebounds. And then at the end of the day, like, oh my gosh, I just would have stayed in. Yep. So how about this? How about the second it breaks the rules of what it's supposed to do, you just get your out and you reassess. I need everybody to follow the rules that are in here. Every single time that I see anybody that is not succeeding, the first thing you can always see is they broke the rules. Sorry, coach, I broke the rules. I can't believe I did that again. How about today? You just start out with, I'm not going to break the frickin' rules, right? The rules are there for a reason, okay? If you haven't heard my rules, I've got a good list of them, and you have to follow all. You don't get to cherry pick my rules. Okay? You need to come in with an empty cup. I don't care how many courses, I don't care how many online activities you've been a part of, I don't care how many rooms you've been in. I don't even give a how long you've been trading. You need to come in with an empty cup. Okay? Because guess what? If you were the world's greatest trader, you wouldn't be watching me right now. In this room, with me, a real professional coach that I've trained millions of people, inside of here, you will learn to be an actual stock market trader and not a call out chaser. Okay. Now I know you see a lot of people out there selling you stuff, brand new kids. I've been trading for 4 years, so I'm going to sell a Discord and all this other bullshit. Well, that's not us. We've made over 10 millionaires inside of this room, and 8 of them had never traded a day in their life. Nobody has those statistics. I don't care where you go. I don't care how many YouTube subscribers they have. I don't care how long they've been in the game doing training. None of that. The proof is in the pudding. Oh, coach, well, how is your trading? My trading doesn't mean. So my proof in the pudding is how are you doing? How is my community doing? Not how I am doing. So if you guys are looking to just watch somebody trade and not learn how to trade, there's plenty of people that'll do that and brag about how great they did in their trading and the success that they did in trading. You're not going to get that in here. My job is to train you.
Welcome to the Aftermarket. American Dream Trading. You have entered the Aftermarket. AmericanDreamTrading.com. Welcome. You are now in the Aftermarket. Welcome to American Dream Trading's The Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. I am Dawn, your host, aka J&J Video Reacts, and this is your stream that's been created for you, traders, to just kick back, relax, and just kind of talk about what happened in the market. We had FOMC today. It was a crazy, choppy day. It did get some momentum in some ways and in other directions. But, you know, the bottom line is if you're a brand new trader, you shouldn't be trading in FOMC meetings. So, yeah, it is what it is. So it was kind of a big nothing burger. But anywho, welcome to the stream. Let's do a couple of housekeeping rules. Thank you, Tony. And yesterday, F2. Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate you. Let's make sure we are smashing that like button. We are trying to also share the video out and make sure you subscribe, all of which is free. Doesn't cost you a dime to do any of that. And we are trying to get Coach to 15,000 subscribers. And right now we're sitting at 14,934, knocking at 15K's door, right? So we're right there. Let's just go ahead, break and hold. That is the theme of tonight. Let's go ahead and just break and hold it right on over there and kick it over. Come on, you know how we coax stocks on. Just get them there. Let's just get them there, right? So make sure you guys are doing that, taking care of that. Thank you so much for being here. That is the subject of tonight. Break and hold, right? Mastering the break and hold. And I have someone who is a master at waiting for that. Ange.
Hi.
Hello.
Shit, that is close up. Woo-wee.
There we go. I don't know what happened with the settings, but all of a sudden it's on a different setting, so I have to switch it every now and like, you know.
Goodness. Makes me be like, ooh, that's not a good angle. Oh, that's better.
There's nothing wrong with that angle. You're beautiful. What is going on?
Oh, you know, another day, another dollar.
Did you trade during the meeting?
I didn't.
Okay.
You know, I still really consider myself to be a new trader. I have traded the meeting before, but I don't feel like giving it back. I just don't. And you know, honestly, it's like if I'm going to run with them, I may as well put a seatbelt on. So I just decided to stay put.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Especially when you have such a structured day like you have. I know you like to make your money early and then just go ahead and do maybe some training, help out with the moderation stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense that, you know, once they had it on, and quite frankly, I was glad that the buying power went up on the contracts because I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Because I have gotten my face torn off on a couple of occasions and I can't, well, yeah, you know what? I think I can guarantee I wouldn't have traded today because I'm really realizing that, you know, the discipline, I mean, we already knew it, but it's becoming a non-negotiable for me now. I'm really, and it's about time, right? I was talking about this in the gold breakout room. I was telling the group we were looking at M2K actually. Actually, I think I had IWM up. And it was sitting right at one of the gold levels that I had. And somebody said, well, why is that a gold level? And I went back and showed them it hit there like several times. So I said, that's why it's gold. But not only that, look what's literally within a half an inch of it. And somebody says, that's 200. And I said, it sure is. So even when it breaks, it needs to hold. And even if it holds, it needs to hold and break the 200 right after that. Right.
Yep.
But knowing it and actually waiting for it to happen is two different things.
It is.
And I heard Mark, and we know Mark is an expert at doing it, but even he struggles with it. And we heard him struggling with it this afternoon. He got in something too early and on the live, and he was talking about it himself. It's the struggle of just maintaining that discipline of waiting. And sometimes you end up with FOMO because you see it breaking through level after level after level and you're not in it and you feel like you're losing money. And when you're a scalper and you have a large account, you can get those runs because if it doesn't pan out, you can hurry up and get out. You made a shit ton of money. But for small accounts, when you have to sit in it for an extended amount of time, you got to wait for those levels.
Right.
You know, and if they don't go that far after that, then, oh, well, at least you got what you got. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't wait for it. Right? Because a lot of times it will go on and continue to run. If it took the time to break all of that, chances are it's going to run for a little bit.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And that's one of my favorite parts about futures. You know, I don't have to have FOMO. I don't have to worry about, did I get in? You know, did I miss the entry? Right. I don't have to worry about that at all because I just wait for the next setup. You know, whether it's for a scalp or for the EWO, it doesn't matter. There's always another setup, whether it's the same contract or not. Doesn't matter.
There you go. And you guys have been telling me that for months, and I finally get it. It's like now that because I've never had I had a margin account when I first started trading, and I first started doing day trading, and I had a Robinhood account, and I was new to the group. And they told me about the cash account because I had a margin and I was a pattern day. I was under the PDT rule at that time. And, you know, it was great that I could get right back in, but I could only trade so much. I wanted to have the experience of being able to trade more instead of being able to get the ability to get in and out of it. So I went on ahead and went to a cash account. But now that I've had that situation where I've had the cash account for 2 years, you know, I see why David wants to hold off on the margin because you can tend to overtrade, but I like the freedom to be able to get back into it if I need to. You know what I mean? If I want to.
Yeah.
So it is really cool having that. Today we are talking about break and hold. I want to say a quick hey to everybody down there. Hold on. Who did I say? I saw everybody. I saw Miranda. I saw you. I saw Maria. I saw Tony. Thank you, Tony, once again. Tony Lynn's down there throwing something in the tip jar. We've got, who else did I say? Maybe it's just you three. Yeah, I think it is. Crispy, what's going on? Bucko, what is happening? Hey guys, we got the tip, not the tip. We got the link down there to join the panel. If a couple of you could come on up here and fill the panel out, that would be fantastic. Remember, you don't have to have your cameras on, but just to help us talk about this break and hold strategy, especially if it's something that you're using. And using whether it's successful or not. If you're struggling with it, let's come talk about it. F2, what's up, brother?
Who's in the house?
What's
That
up?
was-
How's everybody today? Everybody have a good day?
Did you
Good.
have a good day?
Yeah.
I did have a good day. I
Awesome.
did some apple puts this morning, and I was at the job real quick and got out and
You're
had
so
to work.
awesome.
Thank you.
You know, we're I'm chilling with Jen last night, and I just happened to, I don't know what made me look there, but I looked at my Cash App and he had graced the tip jar, and I'm like, he always is so sneaky with it. He'll throw a little something in there, and I'm like, F. So thank you, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and hopefully one day it'll be much better.
Man, that's perfect. Which you, come on, you know what I mean? It's enough to get a meal from DoorDash. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So, but yeah, man, I'm so proud of you with the apple. You took that bull by the horns, and you are rolling with that thing. How much did you do today, if you don't mind saying? You don't have to give an exact number. You can give a percentage if you want.
I think it's like 25% of my account, which I'm taking it down tomorrow. So
That's crazy. Do you use the break and hold strategy?
I am. Well, one of the things I am not 100% certain with it. I'm still playing with scalping and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it to
Really use it.
make it work. Yeah. So that's why I'm here and paying attention. And
well, let's talk about it, shall we? All right. So if you take a look at this screenshot, right? This is giving you some examples of what a break and hold could look like, right? Better yet, let's go with this one, right? So you've got a downtrend right here. And then you've got all of a sudden, and people use this a lot. I've seen Coach teach this. I know Maria uses trend lines. When you set up a trend channel, right? If you don't already have one on there, this obviously was a trend. Somebody set up a channel. With the trend lines, when the stock goes against that trend and breaks the outer edges of it, whether it's to the up or down side, that is what you're waiting for. Like this right here, it's to the downtrend, but it's also kind of choppy, right? But if you're waiting for it to go to the upside, this would be considered a break and hold, this long candle. And Coach mentions this as a break and hold too. You have two break and holds. You have the very long candle that goes all the way up like that, or you have a break of the channel and then a backup confirmation candle. The bottom line is how you use this, F, is when it's in a situation where it's trending one way or it's choppy sideways, draw yourself a little channel around it. Put a line above all the tops and the bottoms and literally wait for it to break out of it. And then another candle means it held out of it. When you see that, that usually means it's going to continue in that direction. And a lot of traders wait for the break and hold of the 9. We hear Mark talk about it, Ange, me, a lot of people. GC talked about it when he was in here. Break and hold of the 9 indicator. And you're very familiar with that. We know. Until it breaks and holds over that, they don't go to the upside, or under it, they don't go to the downside. They wait before that break and hold happens to make a move. That way you don't get caught up in chop, right? And so it went on, and then it continued to make an upwards momentum. That's the beauty of the break and hold, right?
Yes.
So it's like the same thing holds true here, right? Look at this right here, right? This is a double bottom. And we use the term double bottoms a lot. Well, here it honored this line. It came up, right? Formed an area of resistance, came back down, right? Hit the double bottom, and then did what it was supposed to do. It headed back up. But it could have easily created a double bottom, a double top situation right here, right? By coming back down. And then maybe even breaking out of this level, but it didn't. It stayed here, but what it did do was it broke this resistance level instead of coming back down, and then it held. Because look, here's your initial breakout candle right here, right? And then it held, right? It retraced, which usually they will do. I usually like to wait for a retracement. Do you do that, Ange? I wait for a retracement.
It depends on it depends on what's around.
Yeah, because it doesn't always retrace, but usually it does. But then it held and kept continuing to the upside. You really do yourself a lot of good when you wait for situations like this, because otherwise you get caught up in a bunch of chop. So wait for it to break this barrier and go higher than this. This morning we were talking about this in the pre-market, right? We were showing this is a roadblock right here. Until when this gets right here, you do not get in this trade. Just because all this is happening doesn't mean squat. Oh, it's going to the upside. You don't know that, because when it got here last time, it came back down. It could have very well gone below that. So you don't do that. When it comes to an area that it's been before, wait for the break and hold, right? Even if you got to draw yourself a line right there. And once it breaks that area and then it stays firmly above that area, that's when you get in it and make your money. You guys want to add anything to that?
When you get a sec, like depending on how much further you take this, you should pull up a chart, like an actual chart.
Like a real chart. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, let's do it. Let me grab Weeble. Okay, and we got somebody else backstage. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I love the break and hold. The break and hold is really easy to teach, but it's really hard for people to see.
Right.
And I'm a live action person. So for me, like I can't wait until Diamond has the live trading, where Diamond members can sit in there and actually watch these trades happen in action, right? So that's going to give that break and hold that we do so often. They're going to actually get to see it in motion. Which I'm a visual person, so I got to see it. I got to see it a million times over and over and over and over again before I got it. Same with EWO. You got to see where that entry is. You got to see where that shed point is. You got to see where the exit is. And for most people who are visual, sometimes still photos or screenshots are hard for people to see. So that's my tidbit to that, is I'm excited for that opportunity to train and for people to see it.
I agree. What up, Maria? How you doing, babe?
Hold please.
Huh?
She said hold, please.
You mean break and hold?
No, hold.
Yeah.
You mean as in break and hold? I'm joking.
Yep. No, I'm trying to find. I just took a picture of this freaking chart today because I had the trend line charted on the 15-minute on M2K, and I just took a screenshot. And now I can't find it to text it to you. It's really annoying. That's funny.
Huh?
I failed to find the humor in this.
I find humor in everything. Can't take something seriously.
It's like, you're right. I just don't know where it went. Like, how did you just disappear? It's so pretty. Can't just be gone.
Be gone.
Be gone, boo.
All right, let's see.
Hang on. Okay, we'll go to M2K. Well, no, it's not gonna work like that.
All right, so here we got M2K right here.
Where?
With my lines on it.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna text it to you. Well, I'm gonna try. We'll see.
Okay.
Share. So weird that you can send text from your.
Do you have a live chart that you want me to pull up in particular, Ange?
Something that has movement. So any of the indices would be the best.
Tell you what, I don't have a shit ton of lines on ES. Oh, no.
I was like, what?
Well, never mind. I quit.
All right, I'm gonna move this, and I have a recording that I did from today. I'll go through and I'll send it to you too if I can figure out how to do that, because it's pretty long. It was an EWO play, and it can be reviewed too. And it was just really, it showed excellent scalp and or EWO play. So it was a great one.
Nice.
I don't get to catch them very often because a lot of times I'm so in the zone.
Right. We'll put it on here tomorrow.
This is a good one. So you've got some lines. Look at this. This is great. You've got your levels. So before you go and you are starting to look for those break and holds, right? Oh wait, Dawn, do you want to just run this? I'm sorry.
What?
Do you want to take over? I'm like taking over.
No, girl. No, you're not. Go.
Okay.
Why are we here? Yeah.
Oh, right. I get it. Okay, so like before you ever get into this scalping mentality, you got to decide first, what am I going to do today? Am I going to be a scalper or am I going to do 2-minute EWO? In this case, we're coming in here with the scalp. So in this case, we're coming in here with the scalp. So you need to know what you're looking for, right? So you need to make sure you have everything charted. You need to make sure you have your 13, your super trend of 13.1 instead of 13.2 if you use that indicator. You need to make sure you have your other indicators on Webull set up properly. These are these cleanup items, that you have to have ready to go before you ever get into a trade. And once you have all that done, you have your lines charted, and then you're really just set to go. Then it's go time. So if you're right in the middle here, where this, I can't read what the time frame is, but we're just going to use where those 3
2 minutes. It's 2
green.
minutes.
Okay, so we can use that, right? Because no, you need to switch it to a 1 minute.
The hell? Okay. Where's my thing?
I don't see it, and it's kind of blurry. Oh, there, it's on the bottom below your EWO. There you go. Okay, so yeah, those 2 green candles, that was, go ahead and back up a little bit further. Let's go to, how back do I want to have you go? Well, we'll do a long and a short. Okay. So
Okay.
do is that 15 something right there? And the dead's 1524 range. There we go. Yeah, move that up a little bit. Your screen up a little bit. Yeah, move your screen up a little bit so we can see the whole
That's as
picture.
much as it'll move up.
Oh, your chart? You can't move your chart up a little bit?
Oh, this. Yep. There you go.
There we go. Okay. So you've got your lines charted and see those 3 red candles right there, basically dead center. A little bit more to the left. Nope, a little
Right
bit
here?
more to the left. Nope. Now to the right.
Okay.
You're at the double bottom bounce.
Right here.
Okay. Go moving your mouse. What is that? It's like
All right.
1524-ish.
Okay.
Okay, so the 9 is crossing over. You've got your lines drawn, and the 9 is crossing over your indicators. You see that? To the downside. So what we're essentially looking for, yep. So what we're looking for is we're looking for that break of the 9 and the hold. So the break of the 9.
Right here.
Yep, and the
And then
hold.
the hold is right.
And pow, then there's your entry. It's a quick scalp.
Nice.
Okay, so that's to the downside. That's one example. If you go back a little bit further, you see those green candles that
That one right here.
go ahead to, well, you could use that one too. There's that break of the 9. Now, keeping in mind that VWAP is right there, right? So you got to be careful of the other items that are right here. So a really great scalper might pop into that one. Most people would be like, nah, VWAP's right there. We already know VWAP is a magnet. This break is below. I wouldn't toy with this. Why would you not toy with this?
Because it's not completely over the 9.
Correct.
I mean, completely over. This candle is not completely over VWAP, which means
Correct.
it could fall right back down here.
Correct. Exactly. And the Mark McCees of the world would scalp the hell out of this. That's great. But for newer scalpers, you may be a little bit more hesitant, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you go if you move your stuff a little bit to the left, so move your screen to the left a little bit.
So keep going.
Yep, keep going. So here's another one right here to the upside.
Right
so you
here?
see the break off your lines, right? So the lines that we draw are really important too, right? So you see that bounce off your critical level there at the bottom of that green candle.
Right here.
Yep. It breaks above the 9. And we have other indicators here. So we have, what do we have here that may give us a little bit of hesitation for a new trader?
You've got VWAP and
Yep.
you've got, I think that's VWAP, isn't it? I think that might be the 55. I think VWAP's up here. So, but you do have everything above the 9. The 9 is above the 21 and the 21's above the 55.
Yep. So this is where it would be another it would be a super quick scalp if you were going to get into this. This is where those turbo keys come in handy, because you could catch this pop with taking a little bit of risk, knowing that it could pull back pretty quick on you if you don't have a tight stop. But a good scalper could scalp this. And if you use the L2, which I don't use the L2 often, but if you use the L2, you'll be able to see that this is building momentum, and you can continue to ride this scalp for at least a candle, if not 2, or at least partial of 1.5 candles at least, before it's time to get out. Why? Because there's VWAP.
Right.
And you see what those do, right? This is all hindsight trading, but you see that it's bouncing then off VWAP before it decides to go to the downside a little bit.
Yeah.
But then there's another break and hold opportunity. So go back a little bit further. Here's another one, but I mean, you got your indicators in the way, right? Like you want to be super careful with those. A great scalper could do the candle thing again. Go back a little bit further. You see that really nice short right there.
Yes.
So here's a great example. So again, you have all of your lines charted. Everything is in your rear view mirror, right? So everything is
Up
in
here.
reverse, right? All of the
Right.
indicators are on top. That includes VWAP, the 55, the 21, and the 9. And then what do
And
you
the
see?
200.
Oh yeah, and the 200, yes. So then you see that right there. You see the break of the 9, the
Yep.
hold,
Right here.
and then there you have it. You have another great scalp, and it's pulling away. It's pulling away from the 9, so there's no indication to really get out of it just yet. Now,
Right.
mind you, a scalper is most likely not going to stay in it for long term. So that being said, a scalper might get into this 1 or 2 times. It just really depends on what kind of scalper you are. If you're real quick, or how heavy you are in it. Because if you're in this,
Right.
I mean, this is MES, so I mean, I wouldn't recommend being in more than 5. But if this was ES and you were in this 10 plus contracts, you don't need to be in this for very long. I mean, a candle is enough. You get out and then you get back in again.
So conceivably, when you got in on the hold, you could have got at the end of this candle.
You very well could have. Yep. If anything, you may have gotten out on that doji because there's a good chance that would have flickered back and forth before it made its decision.
Yep. And then you would have gotten all of this.
Yep. And it's pulling away from the 9.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no indication to get out of that. If you're really honing in on the process, and it really depends on how volatile this candle is, because if this candle is flickering and going back and forth, scalpers are going to get a little hesitant. And they're going to say, oh, this is flickering. There's some indecision here. And then if there's that pause, the scalper's getting out.
Yeah.
And they're getting the hell out of that.
At the first sign of the pause. And the fact that it most likely it flickered because it ended up a doji, which means it was flickering green to red. They couldn't decide what they wanted to do. So that's another reason to just get the hell out of it. Which would be right, because look, it ended up consolidating after that and then going to the upside. So awesome lesson.
Yep. And so go back a little bit further. I'm curious to see what else we got. Yeah.
Got a nice upside one here.
Well, yeah, here's another one. There's another short too, a good example of it looks like it's off the shoulder. Yep, right there. Is that market open? When did that start?
Let me look.
Is that today?
It is.
Oh, okay.
No, this is it's today the 7th? Yeah.
Yep.
So this is 10:48.
So here's another example of that break and hold. And this is more of that steady off the shoulder break and hold, right? So this is that perfect setup scalp that we see on the 1 minute once in a while, where all the indicators, I believe, there's where's the 200?
Right here. This light
that baby blue.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So here's that good example of where all the indicators are pretty much from the start of this at that point. So if you're like myself, I have TradingView alert me. And even if I were scalping, I would have it alert me on a 1 minute that there's a possible entry opportunity on its way. And you would see that red candle. You would see it break and hold the 55. A good scalper could get into this and take a chance on it, given this whatever the L2 looks like, or what the feel of the momentum is when you're in here. Then you have your 200. What you're going to want to see is that 9 cross that 200 for a good scalp break and hold that 9 again. Break and hold, get into that sucker and write it down. You see the next candle form, it's off the shoulder of the previous. Next candle form, it's off the shoulder of the previous, and so on and so on. It's pulling away from the 9. It just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And finally, we get to the point down here past your level that you have drawn here, where now that's consolidating here at the bottom. and it's still far away from the 9. So this is a
Yeah.
long scalp. This truly is it's a great scalp. But there's no reason to get out of it. There's none.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Not even here, because it's not even touching the 9, nowhere near it.
And then if you're really patient and you really understand how to scalp and you take coach's teachings and you apply it, you're still in this sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dawn. So now you tell me where you're supposed to get out at.
Right here, where you see this doji. Because you can get out here, right? But like you said, it has not broken the 9. And me personally, when it doesn't break the 9, I will stay in it. I do that all the time because I know that the 9 is rubber. When it's under it, this far under it, it tends to bounce off of it. So I would have stayed in it here. Then I would have enjoyed this. Yay, I was right. Whoopee. But then when this happened, I would have gotten scared. When this happened, I would have gotten scared, but I would have stayed in it. But then when this happened, that's where I would have gotten out because I'm not letting it go all the way up to the 21. I want to take all this money and get out of that because I made enough right there. So that would be me.
Absolutely. And so for somebody, and that's great. I think that's excellent point that you make. For myself, if I'm in this really heavy and I got in at the exact moment I should have, I would have waited. And again, this is just me. I would have waited and I would have waited to see if it would break the 21 because that's my out.
Mm-hmm.
And it never did at that point until.
Not at that point.
Yep.
Not until all the way over here.
Not until all the way over there. Now, what I do know from my own self and how I operate is when it came to this red candle right there.
Which one? This one?
The one where you're that's my cursor. Sorry. Yes, that candle right there. I'm like following it with my own cursor and I'm like, why is this cursor?
Dude, I've done that with Bruno so many times. When he's got the screen, I'm sitting there like, why is it not moving for me?
Yeah, so what I see here, and this comes, I'm so much screen time, you guys have no idea like how much I spend time watching this stuff.
Love this passion. I can hear the passion in your voice. You eat this shit for birth. I love it.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
So because I know myself and I know how I trade, if I get into this scalp when I'm supposed to, and I follow all the rules that go along with this scalp, and it never breaks and holds the 21, getting into it when I'm supposed to, I stay in it. However, this red candle right here tells me something. This candle right here tells me that it's getting ready to, there's a possible reversal going to happen here.
Yeah.
And
I've heard somebody else say that.
Yes.
JC said that.
Yes.
It's like taking its last breath here.
Exactly.
When you see that.
Exactly. And so while that may not necessarily be true when you're in real time, when I see that giant pull, that tells me something. First of all, I got to look back and I got to see what's happening to the left. And we're at a double bottom. And we've had several times there where you'll see where the wicks have come down and they've touched this area. And while it's little, it still has happened. But it broke through that, but it didn't hold. It touched it. And then what happened? That next candle turned green. And at the base of that that second green candle it's telling me, you know what? If you're going to take as much profit out of this as that you want to, you best get out of it. And I would have gotten out right there. So yes, it did not break the 21 in this instance. It did not break the 21 in this instance, but I maximized my profit by getting out there versus waiting for it to break and hold several candles later.
Mm-hmm. And you got a seller's wick on top of here letting you know that the sellers are definitely coming in, and this definitely would have given you a clue. Because look at that wick.
Yep.
But why wait for all that? You're steadily losing money here.
Yeah, and again, you're in this for a scalp, right? You're not in this to sit around and just see what happens. Like you wouldn't want to sit in here and just let it take all your profits away. You could shed, I guess, if you wanted to, but if I'm scalping, I'm not typically shedding. I'm in and I'm out. If I'm going to do the shedding technique, I'm going to do that in an EWO.
So can I add into this?
Nice.
Of course, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that chain of red candles, if I was in this EWO, which it is, right? I would have drawn a trend line down that chain, and the first, all of them, I would have drawn a trend line going down, and as soon as a candle broke and held over my trend line, I would have been out.
Okay. I find that fascinating.
It's another way to do it.
Absolutely. And you know what I like about that? If you and Maria, you and I have talked about this. I've not done much with trend
So
lines.
that would have been, say, the trend line.
Yeah, I need you to draw me one.
Maria, you put them on the tops.
Yes. Yeah, I'd have put it on
there?
the top of
Did we
those.
lose you, Ange?
What's that?
Yes, I would have put them on the top.
I think she's having internet problem.
Hear me?
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did. I zapped out.
Are you back now? Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
But I
Okay, we
couldn't
can
like
hear
2
you.
seconds ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my trend line would be on the top of those candles.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all don't want to hear my.
No, I do, because I am fascinated by this.
Oh, no. I'm talking about my son singing in his bedroom.
Oh.
I don't want to hear that. My 16-year-old is in there having a freaking cleaning party. The reason I say that, Ange, because I think you can hear me, but she can't. How is she going and we're not? That's weird.
I don't know. That's weird.
You are moderators.
Is because it's doing something different, is what I've heard Palm tell us all the time. It's doing something different, and you don't know. It could be a V pattern, which shoots straight up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, you've got your stop, but I would have my stop above that trend line. Like, okay, so I think I can share my screen. I'm gonna try.
On one of the, I want to call it a gamma candle, like the bigger ones that when it was breaking and going, we'll say the red one, I forget what one, it was a longer candle going down.
Mhm.
What, like, when it's live, what will help you stop from thinking it's going to retrace? Either going up or down, if I'm making sense.
Well, I wish we could see that same chart. What was it? Let's go back to it.
M2K.
All right. It was M2K?
Right? Or were we doing MES?
Oh, God.
MES.
I think
Was
it
it
was
MES? Okay.
I have
All right,
M2K.
well, remind me, because I want to come back to this one, because this is my other break and hold example. And I'm sorry. I can.
Oh, you're fine.
To keep these dogs.
Better you than me this time.
Heaven forbid a person walk past our house.
I get it.
I mean, see, I have trend. This is my line. All right, so here's our candles. Were we on the 2 or the 1?
1.
Oh, not the 4 hour? That's crazy. Look at that, though. Oh, God. Okay. 1. And what? Lizzie Marie. She has a middle name. What day?
Today.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was this?
I don't see your stuff.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I clicked share my screen and then, all right. so it says press H. Cool.
There we go.
Wow. Okay. I swear if this heifer doesn't start barking, hold on. Lizzie Marie. Out. All right. So, wait, is Dawn back? Because that looks like her screen.
Yeah, that is Dawn's screen.
That's crazy, right?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the?
Thank God.
What is going on, dude?
I don't know. We couldn't figure out how we were still here, but we were going to carry on.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I don't know what the hell's going
We
on.
can still see your screen.
Yeah, that's weird. I have no lights. Nothing's happening on my modem right now.
Oh, weird. What the hell?
And then I got a little yellow flash on Restream that the connection was lost. What is going on, dude? Okay,
There's
wait,
an echo, too.
yeah, that's my phone. Hold on, let me turn it down because I looked at YouTube to see what the hell was going on while you guys were sitting there. All right, we got somebody else in. Okay, is that your screen?
I have no
Oh,
idea.
there we go. Now we see your
Is it?
screen.
Oh,
Now we
okay.
see your screen.
Where are we on today? Oh, right here? This?
So it was about 11:40. Wait, shoot.
I'm just trying to help, Dawn. If you want to take it back, do it.
No, this is good. This is good.
Oh, okay.
Not 10. So like, was this the 10:49
Oh,
one?
here we go. I see it.
I don't know. There was a few today.
Is this it?
I think it was back a little bit further.
Good gravy.
There we
yeah.
go.
Man,
There
that
it
was
is.
pretty-
There's that
I was
snack.
actually in this one. Okay. Yeah, so I would have drawn a trend line across the tops, including the wicks, especially in futures. But see, that candle right there bumps you out, right? Because it's like, see how much wider it is? But yeah, that doji right there, I'm out. But then you could have got back in. But you'd have missed. Like, look at what you would have missed also. So it just kind of, like, if I'm in a EWO, though. Well, wait, I'm going to make sure. Okay. Yeah. If I'm in an EWO, though, I'm at least shedding if it breaks this. And you know what I mean? I'm getting rid of my 50. %, right?
So you go from the top of the wick to the bottom.
In stocks and options, I don't include the wicks as much, but in futures, I've figured out like you have to. But that candle right there a little bit screws you. So, but you didn't get in until here, so you really could draw it further down to like that, right? Because you got in at the break and hold of the 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, this doji right here, I'm out. I'm out the way. But again, if I'm in a 2-minute EWO, I'm shedding because it hasn't broke the 9. It hasn't broken held the 9. But I'm shedding. That's a retracement or a pullback for me. No?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Can I show y'all my M2K that I wanted to show you? It's not
Absolutely.
a scalp, but it
Yeah,
is
show
a break
it.
and hold. And I think F2, what you were saying earlier is not... shoot. I always forget the friggin' slash. You have to, when you're in an EWO, you're still waiting on break and holds, right? All right. So we're going to start on the 4-hour. All right. So this is how I started my day today. I've got the 4-hour trend lines, right? This is the beginning of the day. And then, and that, I know that doesn't look valid, but it is if you look up here, right? So potentially it should come up here, right? We'll see. I'm just saying it has room for
I
it.
thought the same thing. I was like,
Okay.
this thing's got a lot of room.
Right. So then I go to my 1 hour, right? And my trend line on the bottom is still precise, correct? Like I don't need to move that at all. My top one is not really in line, and I thought I drawed a new top in, but I didn't. So then I go to my 15, and here's my 15-minute from at 9 o'clock today. I think is when I started it. Or 9:30, the bell, and so I'm waiting on a break and hold of this F2, and yeah, there were plays. Don't get it wrong, and I don't mean that you couldn't play it, but like I'm not gonna sit in a trade. All right, so let's go to the 2-minute now. Ready? Oh my, y'all, look at this. Look at this. When she broke that bottom trend line, she freaking broke. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've never paid that close attention to that before.
So you are waiting on break and holds, even in a 2-minute EWO F2. Like you're waiting. If you have a gold line right here, or you have VWAP, you're not getting into a 2-minute EWO till it breaks that right to the downside, and you're waiting on the break and hold of it, right? F2.
Right.
Yes. Is that your cat, Dawn?
No,
Oh.
It's my dog whining.
Oh, well, between mine barking. So now, I've got a new little trend line. I don't draw my trend lines on the 2-minute unless I'm in a trade and I need to know when it's doing something different. Does that make sense?
that's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
I draw them on a 15 and then I draw them on the 1, but I didn't have to do anything on the 1. That's my 1 hour right there. That red line, it still hasn't broke it.
Wow.
And I love a good vortex. I know Mark McSee does too. It's his favorite.
Mhm.
Shut up, Ange. No, he hates it. So if y'all want to get on Mark McSee's nerves, just ask him about the vortex.
Oh my God, Jimmy's vortex. Jimmy used to talk about the vortex.
Okay, so YZ says regular contracts would kill you. If you were trading this is the 1 hour. I'm not trading on a 1 hour. But this is not bad. If you got in when it broke the trend line, look at this. It broke the trend line right here, held right here. So I was in here. Wait for it. I got in at 204. I mean, that's a pretty good run to 1983. I'm not sure how many ticks it was, but it did. Yeah, I think I shed here. I don't think. I know I shed here. And maybe I actually got out here and then I got back in. I'm pretty sure.
Now Y2K is dropping. I mean, yeah, Y2K is dropping off the face of the freaking planet.
But
right.
I really like the 3-minute. But anyway, break and holds happen in all trades, and it's crucial. But I do hate a fake break and hold. Oh well, that's no fun.
Yeah, it retraces, so you got to wait for it to retrace before it's a true break and hold. Almost every time it breaks a level, it seems like it retraces.
It goes back to test support or retest. Yep. It does the retest. And then it'll do a liquidity sweep, and then it'll do it's so fun.
Yeah, if you look at that, if you blow it up, M2K up right now where it's at on the live chart, we are 5 minutes after the open. So if you're a new trader, you should stay the hell out of it, right? But since this is a live one, right? So what are we watching for? You're on the what are you on? You're on the 3 minute. Drop it down to a 1 minute. So it's moving.
1 minute? You so crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking at this for a break and hold for a scalp, granted we're 6 minutes in. You want to be watching for your levels, so you can tell that it's bounced off a critical level there.
Maria, can you blow that up? I cannot see that shit, honey.
She needs to have that shit blowed up.
I do. Thank you.
Yeah, so you see where it's hit that critical level there numerous times. What is this? This is M2K, and I can blow mine up a little bit too, so I can see where I want. 1993-8.
Yeah, so I took a bunch of my lines out to show this.
Oh, that's
They
okay.
would have confused it. You know what I mean? But
If you want to see a live, if you want to see a live in action scalp, like you can look at it right now. It's breaking above, and there's VWAP. A really good scalper might take that, but you got to know where your levels are. So, I mean, I would never suggest this if you're not familiar. You could practice it, but you got that red candle there.
VWAP is way up here, though. Oh, we're taking it to the downside?
No, well, you would essentially if you were gonna do this proper, but a really good scalper could take that candle. It just really depends on your skill level, but you really want to wait. It's inching closer and closer to that VWAP, and like I said, we're 7 minutes into the new session. So you really got to be careful. And I mean, look, if you look backwards, we've got a lot of levels right here and a lot of consolidation happening.
I want to see a break and hold of the 921. Like they're so convert, like they're and the what is the 921, and that's the 200, right? The 55 has broke the 200.
Yeah, I don't see the 200 even on this scenario.
Oh, the 200 is the blue. Okay.
The 200 is the blue.
Yeah.
All right. But
Yeah,
these are really squishy.
It's under it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look how that bounced right off of it too.
Yep.
And now it's bouncing between VWAP. So we probably just are going to continue in this little channel. I'm betting. We'll see. But this is where I need my L2. Hold on. Let me go get it. Here she is. I'm close.
Hold on. You want me to let me go ahead and grab that back because I got an L2 on here.
I got it. But you can grab it back all you want.
All right,
VWAP does matter in scalps. It just depends on your skill level. I mean, I know scalpers that will scalp through VWAP or up to VWAP or below VWAP or whatever. But it starts getting closer like this. Yeah, all these indicators are starting to get pinched together. Yeah, I don't like to play. That is not my favorite. I like to stay clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, coach likes it because it does indicate if it breaks above it, it's gonna, you've got everything in your rear view mirror. If it breaks below it, you have everything in your rear view mirror. So I do understand that concept.
By the way, guys,
the fan.
Thank you for keeping things going. I appreciate you guys.
Course.
I don't know what the hell happened, but thank you. Thank you, Maria, for sharing your screen too.
Oh, no problem. I didn't know I could. That was interesting.
Yeah.
YZ has a question. He just wrote question. Oh.
He goes,
Yeah, I'm always telling you guys to share your screen. All you gotta do is click share screen. You can bring your screen in anytime you want. Just let me know.
He goes, how are you wait till it breaks VWAP? I heard Ange say VWAP doesn't matter in scalps. It really just depends on your skill set. I personally like to wait when these start to bunch together like this. To me, this freaks me out, and it causes me to pause and wait for it to make a decision before I ever get into it. It's too close to VWAP for me. And then the indicators start to smush. Yeah, I don't want to play with that.
And L2 is showing us that it's consolidating. Everything's all evened up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but everything is okay. So 200's down here, VWAP's down here. Technically, everything is above VWAP right now. So once this starts getting some momentum and cracks that 21, and then the 55, and then the 21 follows, this thing might run for a little bit because everything's already done its job getting over VWAP in the 200. So it just needs to keep.
Why is my VWAP above everything? What's that?
5641, 5644.
This is weird.
Oh, yours. Yeah, my VWAPs were Don's is.
Interesting. Okay.
That is interesting.
You're not confusing it with the 55, right? Because we all, a lot of us tend to do that because they're so close in color.
Mm-hmm. There we have it. We have some momentum building up here.
Yeah. It's a perfect setup. This shit's going to go up there.
40 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That 21 is the 21. Good grief. The 9 is inching closer to the above the 21. Like they're starting to get closer.
That's what's going to happen. I'm trying to tell you, sis.
Yeah, but look though, we got a double top where it's come back to where it started at the open.
Yep. But with this momentum and everything already all over VWAP, once it gets up there, it might blow through that. Let's put a line there, shall we? Bring it down. Lock it in. And see what it does.
That red candle's pausing. Or that candle's pausing right there. Got a little juice.
Break that 55. Stop playing with it.
But it's hesitating.
Of course, you could glance at the 15 second.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't typically do that. I like to see what.
There it is. There it is.
All right, it's moving it.
Almost there. Just a little bit more.
You don't want to get in too soon, right? Like we've got 16 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's fighting. I don't see anything saying that it's going to fly to the downside on the L2.
Nope.
Okay, this is weird. Even my trading view is still showing it's pushing up on the 200. The VWAP is below the 200, but the 9 and the 21. What is wrong?
Are you on MES?
Help! Oh no, I thought we were on M2K.
No, we're on MES.
Okay.
That's what's going on.
We on the whole wrong side.
See, look at that. Like, look at that hesitation there. Look at that pull.
Look at the L2. Look at the bottom of it.
Yep.
They're pulling it right down there.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you should never assume or get into one of these when it doesn't break and hold above an indicator or a critical line that you've charted.
Hence tonight's show.
Yep.
You're seeing right here why it's so important to not let the break and hold happen. You got to get that mentality. You got to get that discipline in your game.
And you watch, it's going to sit here and it's going to
freaking channel
do its thing.
Yeah, there's just not much volume.
No, this is
the L2 isn't even moving really.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
put it on the 15-minute once and see what the if it's showing which direction.
15-minute or 15-second?
15-minute.
Still channeling.
Yep.
Diddling right in the middle.
Yep.
Respecting these lines though, because it didn't make it past here.
On the
Didn't
1
make-
minute, it just broke below VWAP though, right?
It sure did.
Make sure I'm right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sure did. But it's not, it's got to break and hold that if you want to get into that for a scalp.
So if this comes in on the shoulder or closes up down here, it's not on the shoulder though. It's coming in the middle. I don't like it when it does that.
Nope. Nope. It still hasn't decided what it wants to do.
Yeah.
And 5 seconds left. Candle.
All right, there you go. Push it down.
But show more time and draw a trend line. There's a clear trend. It's crazy from the bottom of all of the candles on the 1 minute.
$56.38.
Blue Horseshoe. This reopens at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so 5 p.m. Central.
Blue Horseshoe. Do you still love Anacott Steel? You guys don't know what movie that's from, do you?
Nope. Can't say I do.
I'll give you a hint. Charlie
That
Sheen
is
and
not-
Michael Douglas.
It's not my forte. I'm so bad at these things.
Oh.
That's not gonna help.
I've definitely seen movies with a minute, or a movie with a minute, but I don't remember what movie it was.
I'm waiting for Blue Horseshoe to answer. Yes. I love it. Wall Street. That was the name of basically a trading ring that Michael Douglas was the head of. They never showed it, but that would be how they would manipulate the stock. He would make a quick little call and say to whoever it was on the other line, Blue Horseshoe loves whatever stock they wanted to go up or down. And if he loved it, that meant buy it. And so whoever was on the other end of that line would call their friends, and then they would call their friends, and so on and so on. And everybody would buy that stock and make it go up. So they were trying to short squeeze a dude, and drive the price up on him because they didn't want him to buy it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Whenever you get a chance, I highly recommend watching Wall Street, especially now that you're in this game. It's like the Godfather for traders. Can't not be down with Wall Street, dude. Watch party.
Sweet. All right, ladies, it is time for me to go do some mom duties. It is awards night, so I've got to depart.
Oh, yeah. We'll have fun with that.
Yes, you guys all have a great evening. I will see you guys.
Oh, why F2 has to be a lady? It's so rude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's
I'll
so
see you
quiet.
tomorrow.
You wouldn't know he was here. I understand.
I know. All right, Ange, thanks so much for being here,
You
baby
bet,
girl.
guys. Have a good night.
Awesome training. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ange.
Glad to see I could help.
For the show.
You guys,
Thank you.
we'll see y'all in the morning.
All right, girl. Same, Maria. Thank you so much for your training. Thank you for sharing your screen and coming up here and being a part. F2, thank you, as always, for being a part. Everybody down there in the chat, I love your faces. I'm so glad you guys came in here and got a chance to see some master training in full effect. Don't forget, wait for the break and hold. Don't jump into anything and don't necessarily jump out of anything. You know,
Right.
you got some good lessons. Watch this particular one over and over again because it was some good stuff in this one. So,
Oh yeah, I can. Look.
huh?
Okay, hold on. Well, I don't know. Hold on. Let's see if we can make that happen. But see that little vortex right there on the 2-minute?
Yeah.
So if it breaks that trend line to the upside, I'm taking it up. But if
Take it.
Right. But it's got a ways to go down for me to trust it. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Which a lot of times they roll with coaches' indicators because they're so awesome. But sometimes there's a trend within a trend. You know what I mean? So you have
I
to.
do.
Right.
I do. And that's the ones where you got to be careful because you can get a quick scalp. You know what I mean? It can be going to the upside all day, but when it gets that little 5 or 6 candles to the downside, you can get that.
Right.
And then it goes back up.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I love the new indicators. They're fire.
I do too.
And I really don't like charting. Like, I don't like drawing my lines.
And you don't have to.
Right. I don't like drawing them on here because I'm like, wait, now I'm confused. I like drawing them on Weeble, but okay, but look, we just broke. But we haven't held. Let's see what happens. We haven't held. I'm on the 2-minute though. I don't live on no 1-minute chart. I'll let you know. And don't be talking about no 15 seconds.
15 seconds, baby. Nah, I ain't looking at that. It messes my game up. I stopped looking at it. And I've been happier for it, to be honest with you. It was stressing me out.
So I traded IWM today.
You did?
Yeah.
You did back in that well, huh? I traded M2K.
So I do like 100 in my cash account and 100 in my futures account or whatever. That's how I start my week. And then we see where we go. And I don't trade either one every day, or both every day. But today I traded both. Okay. And there's reasons though. You know what I mean? Like when I know
I think I get those reasons.
When I know that I can benefit from serious gamma, I'm gonna go get the gamma. You know what I mean? But when I know I can just be in an uptrend or a downtrend, and that's cool in futures. But if I know it's gonna whip and I can get in and get out, definitely it was a scalp. But then I lost power. Whew, that was scary. I know, but I already had my backup open. I had my phone open and already in the Weeble app. I was so proud of myself, Dawn.
Dude, say what you want about trading on the phone. That's another reason I'm glad I trade on my phone. I don't ever have to worry about that shit. My power going out. But
yeah, okay. I don't trade on my phone. I mean, I got out on my phone, but I don't trade on my phone. Yeah, especially if I can't see a chart. I can trade on my phone if I can see the charts, but when my phone's all I have, I'm just getting out. You know what I mean?
My phone is just like a little version of my computer. I see the chart, I see everything. Look, my lines show up that I put on the computer on my phone. I'm like, yay! Yeah.
No.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna end with Coach's rules. Love you too. Peace and blessings, everybody. We're going to end with Coach's rules, and I will see y'all at 4 a.m. mañana.
Please follow the rules. Nobody go rogue. Some of the rules that we have to and live and die by in here is do not lose more than 1 to 3% of your total account value in any given day. Make sure you have stop losses on each and every trade, regardless of shares and or options. Make sure you guys are practicing small base hits. Don't go for home runs. Allow the runners to run and stop out the losers. If you're a new trader, make sure you are paper trading using a simulated trading system such as Weeble or some of the other ones that are out there. If you are an expert trader, please make sure you also are being careful the first 3 minutes and the last 8 to 9 minutes of the day. Those are the absolute most volatile times in the entire market. Also, if you're a newer trader, please don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day. Those are the most dangerous times. My name is Chad, aka the Coach. I've been a stock market trader for the last 33 years. I have trained over 1 million people. Our trading community is now closing in on close to $200 million in profits. We have retired over 200 people and counting. A couple of my moderators are having over 7-figure months. You heard that right. We are legitimately the only stock market training community that has people making over $1 million per month. I'm talking about real cash money, dollar bills, y'all. So if you're wondering if you're in the right place at the right time, you are. Welcome.